Hi guys, welcome Penguin, Jensen, Cupcake. How are we doing, guys? Welcome.
Welcome, welcome,
Cupcake
welcome,
Podcast.
welcome. Welcome, everyone.
You guys
Welcome to the
welcome.
podcast. Do not leave. This is an opportunity for you guys to ask your questions. I have here with me Chris. Chris is a certified personal trainer with over a decade years worth of experience. Feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions. Um, I have got a question to get started so people don't feel shy when they do ask their questions. Um, my question is related to. I'm trying to think of a question. My question is related to okay, how long is too long to do cardio? That's something I'm starting to think about because I'm starting to do a lot of cardio, and it's getting to the point where, when you have a bath for too long and your fingers get wrinkly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had a session today and I looked at my finger and it was extremely wrinkly. Um, I'm guessing that was too long. It was probably like 2 hours plus. But how long is too long of cardio? There you go.
Yeah, good question. It totally depends on what your goals are. If you're going to be a long distance runner, you're going to have to do more cardio than others. But if you're trying to build muscle, if you're there just to get stronger, build some muscle, aesthetics kind of thing, there is possible to do too much cardio. In which case, I think you should probably limit it to half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. I'd always do that after your lifting. And that's a really good compromise. It helps work on your fitness. It makes you better, more efficient at burning fat. It makes you better conditioned so you can work harder in your work sets. I think it's really underrated. So yeah, if you get into it, if it's not your main focus, like you're going to be a long distance athlete or something, that's a different thing. But for aesthetics, for building muscle and strength, I'd probably cap it around 45 minutes max for 3 sessions a week. That should be absolutely plenty. And that should give you more capacity to build muscle as well, because you're in better shape. And it's completely underrated. I think cardio, everyone should be doing cardio.
How much is too little cardio? So I see sometimes people who, quote unquote, do cardio. They get on like the treadmill, they pretend to jog, and then
Oh yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah, for
saw
sure.
I saw it today. I don't want to be awkward in case anyone ever sees this podcast. But I was jogging for a while, and then some guy just gets on the treadmill right in front of me. He's like proper sprinting, and then obviously, like I said, I'm not making fun of anyone. And but I didn't see he was doing anything. It didn't feel like he was doing it, and he just went away. So I don't know. Maybe I motivated him, and then he got shy and realizing he had the stamina.
Yeah.
Built
I think
difference.
happens a lot as well. You see it in my gym a lot for January, especially. People think, right, I'm going to do cardio this year. I'm going to get
Mm.
into cardio. And every you see them line up on the treadmills or on the cross trainers, and they go and they set it. It's like 5 minutes, if that, and they're gone. They're wasted. They're out of it. So there is a chance to do too little cardio. Everyone should be doing some base cardio each week. Um, if you are really out of shape, I think instead of trying to do a really long cardio, you should really start low and slow. I think that's the best way to get into it. I think people overestimate their conditioning. I do it myself every time I go to do a rowing machine. I have no moderation for myself on a rowing machine. I think I'm there in the boat race and I completely gas myself and I'm embarrassing myself in the gym and I'm done with it in a few minutes. This is lifting in the gym. Um, so I think the best way to do it is start low and slow, start easy than you think you need to. Maybe set for 10 minutes and just go for a walk to start with. A slight incline on a walk, it's less effort than you need, and you don't want to finish your cardio being absolutely exhausted. When you're trying to build up your capacity, you want to be doing less than your absolute max. So you feel you can do an extra 5, 10 minutes, that's great. Call it then. And do that once a week to start with, if that's all you need. Maybe work up to 2 weeks, 3 sessions of 10 minutes, low and slow, and slowly increase the length of the sessions after that. Once you get to around half an hour for each session, I would then try to build up the intensity a bit. So a little bit faster, not by a lot, put it up, zero point 0.1 mile per hour, slowly build up to it. Cardio is something that builds up over time. You need to have a strong base, and that way you can build a top. I don't think you should. So again, what people see a lot is people think I need to get into cardio, I need to do high intensity interval training, I need to be super intense, I need to be sprinting out there. And high intensity training is great, but that's good for building the peak of your VO2 max. That's for your top end total output. But if you're not used to doing cardio in the first place, you haven't got the endurance, you're just going to tank out and you like to get injured, you're going to get tired and probably vomit everywhere, which people do. So high intensity has its place, but you should really build a strong cardio base first. And this can absolutely be done alongside lifting, building strength, alongside that. You don't have to have one or the other. You can be the best thing to do is be in great shape and be super strong and muscular at the same time.
Perfect. Thanks for answering my questions. Guys, does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to raise your hand. Don't be shy. We are accepting all questions. There's nothing too silly. In fact, even if you have the answer, you know the answer to the question, feel free to ask it. If you need clarification, need second opinion or third opinion, go ahead and ask it. My next question or follow up question for that will be what type of food would you recommend to replenish energy after like a long cardio session? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, good question. So honestly, what you eat in a total day is more important than when you eat it. Okay, so you want to have some energy before the gym. If you're totally whacked, totally tired after cardio session, first thing is get some water in your system. Ideally, get a little bit of protein into you, if possible, and some easy carbohydrates. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated. You don't have to have a super post-workout shake ready if you don't want to. If you're not ready for that, that's fine. But something light, easy on your stomach. If you've done cardio, you may be feeling a bit exhausted. You might feel your stomach's a bit uncomfortable. So anything you can eat gets comfortable. Ideally, something like maybe some potatoes, maybe some rice, alongside a little bit of protein and some vegetables. Is a great thing to have just to replenish. You don't need, whilst the tendency is to, get downloads of Lucozade or Gatorade or anything like that, you don't need that. If you've done some cardio, just give your body some easy to digest, whole natural foods that you can eat. You don't have to cook it yourself. You can get it from takeaway or somewhere. If you get some rice and chicken, easy. Get some vegetables in there. Just a banana can be good. You don't need to have. So go tell me this quickly. You don't. There's not. We talk about a post-workout window. People think you need to have loads of protein right after the gym, or else you won't. You'll miss the chance to make some gains. That's not the way it works. What's more important is what you eat in the whole day. So as long as you're getting enough protein at some point in that day, you don't need to worry about missing out on gains because you haven't had a protein shake the second you leave the gym. Don't worry about that. That's a really common one. And I used to do it myself. I used to have embarrass myself here. I used to go to the gym when I started. I used to bring like a little pint of milk with me every time. I used to bring it to school after my gym session and try to drink that. This horrible bit of milk I had in my bag all day that was quite warm. Don't be that person. As long as you have it at some point
Bro,
during the
I used to
day.
do that as well at uni. I'd
Yeah,
have like a chug of milk
yeah,
and I'll be walking,
yeah.
just chilling and just like have the milk open. And when I finish it, I'll use that as like my water bottle as well. I don't know. I don't know. Can you explain the science behind the anabolic window thing? Is it, it's weird because I see people say it's facts, it's myth, it's this, it's that. I just make sure to eat right after because, like I said, I've literally just come back from the gym. I am on 0% energy. This is keeping me through this podcast. Um, yeah, could you explain the science? Because I don't know, I still kind of believe it. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah, well,
help a
it's
brother
really
out.
entrenched. It's really entrenched, and it's been broken down more recently. But people will still do the same thing. And honestly, if you, there's nothing to worry about. But there was the idea that when you finish workout, your body is more. If you, it's trying to replenish itself. So you break down glucose, you break down your muscle fibers slightly. Your body is in a prime time to grow and take in nutrients after a workout. And there is some truth to that, but it's not a massively substantial thing. So people did think there was a whole thing for a long time. People would sell you supplements to have a big peri-workout nutrition. So you'd have something before a workout, you'd have BCAAs and EAAs during the workout, you'd have some sort of extra sugars in the workout, then you'd have a post-workout shake. And honestly, it's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of people trying to sell you products. And I'm not saying it doesn't make any difference at all. There is a slight uptake in nutrients after a workout, but it's not worth worrying about. So if you can get some protein afterwards, that's really good. But if you can't, it's not going to make a difference in the big scheme of things. It's maybe we're talking about a percentage point or two. It's not something that's really worth worrying about at all. If you want to really, really dial it in, perhaps look into that more. If you're a regular lifter, if you're someone who's getting into the gym, it's not something you need to worry about at all. It's not a big concern. You're not going to lose gains because you don't have a protein shake, like I said, a second after you get out of the gym.
Perfect. Guys, feel free to ask your questions. Sorry that I'm hogging up the time. No question is so silly. As you can see, I'm asking like the dumbest questions and getting some facts versus myths, debunking misconceptions. So feel free to ask any questions. Sub Zero, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Remember you saying that you had a question to ask. Okay, while this guy is being annoying, what would you say the best time is to go to the gym? I know it's not like a proper fitness question, but I just want to get your opinion because I try to rotate whenever I go to the gym. So sometimes early in the morning, sometimes like 2 a.m., sometimes in the afternoon. But I'm starting to feel like the 2 p.m. window is kind of like the hot spot where there isn't people at the gym and it's kind of empty. Well, 3 a.m. Grant, when everyone's asleep, that's a good time. What's your opinion? And shout out
Yeah,
to Breed. Welcome.
I
Anyone
appreciate it.
who's anyone who's like a loyal member, a long term member, you must ask a question. Just say this doesn't end up being awkward. And I'm just gonna move Sub Zero back to the audio.
So there is a lot to talk about this, and you see people who are like, you got to be on the grind, you got to be up at 5 a.m., you got to be up at 4 a.m., you got to be in the gym. Where everyone's asleep, you got to be there super early. which ends up people mostly being sleep deprived unless you're a mutant like Lobster who trains super early anyway. The answer is there's a science-based answer really, and there's a practical-based answer. So ideally, you could be science-based. It's based on your circadian rhythm. So once you've been awake for a certain number of hours, your body will be more online, more switched on, more locked in to train. For most people, that's probably around early afternoon if you wake up, say 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So science will say that's the best time to go to the gym because your body's most optimal for it. And there's merit to that. However, a lot of people unfortunately have jobs. Not everyone has a privilege working at home like us here. So some people will have to go super early or super late. I will say the best time to go to the gym is, for me, just when I'm ready to go. So I don't go at a strict time every day. I have about a window to go in that my body's kind of accustomed to it. If you can get in more of a routine, that will help you as well. But honestly, the best time to go to the gym is when you are able best to go and push yourself. And if you have to go outside of those hours, it's like you'll probably see a drop off in performance, and that'll be short term, and that'll be because of the difference in routine. I always like to talk about this, but when I did my powerlifting competition, I made a real big mistake. I trained always in the evening, and then my powerlifting competition was in the morning. And guess what happened? I could not do the same performance in the morning as in the evening because situations are different. So if you have to change your routine around, you can expect a slight difference in performance, but it doesn't mean you can't build muscle. It doesn't mean you're weaker. It just means your body isn't as ready for it, but you can still make great progress and work towards your goals at a different time at a time.
Perfect. Thanks for answering all my questions. I don't want to take up the time. Candy asked, what happened to the skinny fat and candy ass part, or the skinny fat part? What happened to your name? Why did you change it?
He's not skinny fat
Hey,
anymore. He's done it.
I changed it because I posted a couple selfies on me in the fitness chat, and everybody was like, "You're not skinny fat."
There you
And
go.
so I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just be candy ass."
I love how you left the candy ass part. How are you doing, dude? How's your week been?
How are you? I'm actually cooking right now.
Cooking at the gym or cooking food?
Uh, Cooking food at home.
Oh, how
I don't
disappointed.
know why I'd be.
Anyway, mate, feel free to ask your question.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, if you could go over how like rest times should be. I know it's like more time for heavier lifts and less time for lighter lifts.
Yeah, awesome. Really good question. So rest periods are something people don't think about very much, or people overthink most of the time. So if you're trying to building sets, so you're working close to failure. I'm not wanting you to hit failure every set. If you're going to 1 or 2 reps in reserve, 1 or 0 reps in reserve, really pushing hard, you should probably aim for around 3-minute rests. This is for muscle building. The goal to build as much muscle as possible. You want to have around 3 minutes rest between sets. This may seem like a long time, and you are allowed to go on your phone in between, but let someone else work in. Give your muscles enough time to properly recover and work hard each set. Some people will say you need to have short rest periods for higher reps. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think if your goal is to build muscle, aim for around 3 minutes rest. And honestly, if you're not in very good cardiovascular shape, you're probably going to need a little bit more than that, which is fine. The idea is not to do as many sets as possible or to do sets as quickly as possible. It's to do high quality sets. So that's what I recommend. If you're trying to do more powerlifting, so you're trying to lift performance, if you're trying to perfect your form and work on your powerlifting lifts, which will be a part of a structured program, I'm sure, you may have value in maybe 4 to 5 minute rests. So that's what I recommend. If you're doing powerlifting, so you're trying to do precise lifts, you've got a scheduled workout trying to work to, maybe 4 to 5 minute rest, so you're fully ready in between. Ideally, you will be able to still be focused to back on your lifts, but any longer than 5 minutes, I think honestly, you're messing around too much or you're going to be out of focus. The only other
Got
caveat,
it.
I guess, if you're doing like supersets, which I don't generally recommend, I think supersets are only really valuable as a time saver. You can obviously no rest between those sets, but yeah, aim for 3 minutes of muscle building, up to 5 for powerlifting.
Alrighty. Got it. 3 minutes. You said 3 minutes for like lighter exercise, and then what was it? 5 minutes for like heavier lifts.
That's not quite the way I'd say. I'd say for muscle building activities,
Oh.
like if you're trying to build muscle hypertrophy, if you're trying to win that hypertrophy, then aim for 3 minutes. If you're trying to do powerlifting, so lower reps, I suppose, for powerlifting structured program, aim for around 5.
Okay. Got it. Thanks, Chris.
Does it make sense, or am I just talking to myself anymore?
No,
Just
it
break
makes
down.
sense. No, it's good. You
Bryce
said 3
pretending
minutes.
as if he listened. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm listening. I'm just multitasking. Sorry.
All good. Enjoy your food, man. Thank you for the question.
Repeat the last three
Thank you,
words
thank
that Chris said. No, I'm just kidding, mate. Not gonna put you on the spot. Enjoy your.
Alright.
Oh, I hate when teachers used to do that in school. It's
my
like
God.
they just pick you randomly. It's like, hey, what does I say? It's like, I wasn't listening. I clearly wasn't listening. Why are you asking me? Guys, good way to shout this out. Make sure to support Chris on our platform. Remember, it is in Strike First, it is in Strike Force, it is Strength First. SER first on our platforms. And also, if you want to catch the VOD, twitch.tv/AOKing. Guys, feel free to raise your hand to ask your question. This is a great opportunity to get huge insight or very helpful insight with Chris. He has over a decade years worth of experience. Uses an opportunity to get a second opinion, a third opinion. And don't be shy, or I'll start picking people randomly. Lobsterman, Breed, Boyer. Where's Mr. Clean? Wookie. Guys, ask questions. I'm not going to say Subject Zero's name.
Text questions. We can do text question. I can ask a text. There's a good text question here from Ether.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, how often do you eat, and how do you track your calories or deficit? Which is a good question. So, I generally eat 3 times a day. Really interesting. I tend to break it so that's the way it works for me, but it's not necessarily that important how you do it. Again, the calories and nutrition you have over the 24 hours rather than when you eat it. So it used to be bodybuilding, you have to have, 5-7 meals a day. You got to have your little chicken, broccoli, and rice, a little Tupperware 7 times a day. Meant to have a fast, keep your body anabolic all day, which turns out to be rubbish. So yeah, it depends how you want to do it. Generally, 3 meals is fine. If you want to have snacks as well, that's fine. But make sure you don't accidentally eat too much by having snacks. The only danger of having snacks is it's easy to eat things that are high in calories, low in satiety, that will make you go over your calories. And tracking calories, there's all sorts of ways to track them. You can take paper and pen if you want. You can use MyFitnessPal. You can use all different ones. I'm sure everyone here in the chat's going to have a different preferred tracking system, but just keep an eye on it. Not that complicated. Once you know how to do it, it's very easy. How often do you have sweets and desserts? I have sweets/desserts every day because if it's in my calories, it works out for me. So you don't have to avoid it all the time. Yeah, I have some sort of sweet or treat or dessert every day because it works well for me and it keeps me on track in general. So as long as you're within your calories for that, the budget's not over your calorie budget, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about having to eat super clean, 100% clean all the time. In fact, it's good to have a variety of things and that's not clean or not healthy food because it gives you a diverse gut biome. People who eat clean all the time, they then go off diet and they have like McDonald's or something, they get a bad stomachache for like a week. Think, oh, it's this terrible poisonous food, when realistically the body just doesn't have the biome to break it down. So having a diverse gut biome is important. Eating 100% all the time is not a good idea. It's not healthy either. It leads to eating disorders and stuff.
Thanks for that, Chris, and thanks for asking the question, guys. Guys, feel free to raise your hand to ask your question. Really do appreciate you, Wookie. Guys, at the end of the podcast, I am going to be announcing the giveaway winners. So there is an ongoing giveaway just below me. Feel free to opt in. And you all know that I'm not corrupt, but some of the people that might be asking questions might end up winning. I don't know. I don't control fate. I don't control how it's picked, but some of the people who are actively asking questions might end up winning that giveaway. And it is below, so you do have 15 minutes or so to still opt into it. Wookie, mate, how you doing? It's been a while.
Hi everyone. Yes, it's been a very long time. Hope the two of you have been well and everyone else has been well as well. So Chris, AO, I believe the two of you kind of understand my situation as of right now. My diet, and then on top of that, my training is very limited due to the number of hours I work per week, right? And so I just kind of thought of this out of the blue, but I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on consuming I want to say 2 to 3 protein shakes per day, right? So if on average, if a scoop of protein is between 24 and 26 grams of protein, right? And I'm unable to consume my daily necessities for protein per day. What are your opinions? What are your thoughts, concerns about consuming 3 to 4 scoops per day, for example?
Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to quickly expand on your situation just so everyone else can hear and benefit from it as well. So he's in a situation, he's an experienced lifter, he's a very strong guy, but he's in a situation now when he's working very long days, he hasn't got much time to train or to eat properly. So in this situation, he's asking, is it okay, basically, what do I think about having 3 or 4 scoops of protein a day for convenience, basically, to get the nutrition in? And I think in this situation, it's perfectly valid. As long as you're not having like the absolute worst, most terrible protein powder you can find, as long as it's a half decent one, I think that's absolutely fine. Protein powder, after all, we can talk about the dangers of ultra processed food and terrible things like that, but ultimately, protein powder is a replacement for food. So if you see it as food, that's absolutely fine. I think if that's a way you can get in an extra, what I sounds about 100 grams of protein a day, if you have limited access to eat and cook the rest of the time, I think that's a perfectly valid way to do it. I would say, just to stress for everyone else about it, I'm sure you know this, but protein isn't the most important thing in the entire world. You're actually having 300 grams of it. If you're in a situation when you have limited time, limited cooking facilities and things like that, it's absolutely fine to lean on protein powder and replacements for extra protein. I think that'd be absolutely fine. On the caveat of outside of it, do eat some greens and vegetables and things.
Interesting. Okay. Just so the audience is just kind of aware and know what to buy and what to avoid, like what are some brands you would recommend for protein powder?
I'm not sure if I'm really going into brands and stuff. I would say do your research for it. Honestly, my protein bulk powders do some decent things. Just make sure you're getting a reasonable, trusted, branded thing, basically. There are some of the
Okay.
absolute terrible ones out there, but my protein's always a good starting point for that in bulk powders, unless AO's got some magic sponsor who's going to pull out of somewhere.
Okay. And then so what I've been doing is on average between, I want to say 2 to 3 scoops. I try to do every day 2 to 3 scoops. But what about creatine, for example, right? If I'm So on average, I've been averaging about 45 minutes of workout per evening.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, should I stay within that 5 grams of creatine, or can I do more than 5 grams? Like, what are your suggestions there?
I think if you're being stay consistent with it, 45 minutes, I think 5 grams should be fine. I think you may get a slight min-max out going to 10 grams, but I don't think it's going to be a huge difference, to be honest.
Okay. Now, if I'm averaging between 2 to 3 scoops of protein per day, I mean, about ratio wise, right? Percentage wise, what do you think my body would be able to retain at that point? I mean, that's a very broad question. I'm not asking for a very specific percentage, but more so like an average percentage of if, for example, I'm consuming 75 grams of protein powder per day, right? About roughly, just estimation wise, what do you think my body would be able to handle or retain in terms of that
Do you mean
protein?
like utilize the protein?
Yeah, utilize the protein, yes.
Yeah. Actually, Coach Boy has put a really interesting post here in the chat for you actually. So if you check that out, make sure that's very important for that. So very helpful. Thanks for that. You're fantastic. I don't see a reason why your body shouldn't be able to utilize all of it in all honesty. Coach Boy, if you've got an extra insight on this, please jump in and let me know. Coach Boy, you there?
I'll set this one up just for now. I have kids in the background, so I'll just
Okay.
unmute.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be able to utilize all of it. If as long as you're training and causing the the incentive for people to use it for building muscle, that shouldn't be an issue at all. There's no like a cap when you have to be allowed a certain amount of extra protein or like supplement protein. That should be absolutely fine.
Okay. Alrighty. I will keep this in mind, and I will continue this lifestyle as is, and hopefully it changes sometime in the future. But thanks again for answering my questions.
You're welcome, man, and awesome job keeping up with that. I know it's a tough situation, but you're doing a good job.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, dude. Really do appreciate you. Feel free to ask any more questions if you do want to ask. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I also know having to work long hours and all these things and trying to keep up with fitness. It's much annoying, especially once you've actually gotten into a really good shape and you're in the process of trying to sustain or maintain it, and you have to pick priorities and all these other stuff. Hopefully, there are a lot of people in the community who are willing to help you figure these things out. Feel free to reach out to Chris on a personal level. There's also Boya. There's also, there's a lot of people. So yeah, thanks for that, dude. And I really do empathize with you on a spiritual level because that is something I am also trying to figure out myself. Cool. Next person is the one, the only Lobster Man. How you doing, dude?
Yo, what's up, Chris? Hey, yo. Bonjour.
How you doing,
Effective
man?
in this spot. Well, yeah, I just had a question. I'm trying to come up with questions because I've already asked you like fucking 100 by now. But so I was wondering. So yeah, I'm doing Paragon's programming. I changed it recently because of the squad thing, and like kind of I was trying to like test some stuff out that you said last week. So right now I'm just shifting the days so I can actually get a rack on squats. But my question is actually it's not about that. So since I'm cutting right now and it's Saturday and I'm supposed to technically rest, right? But I also want to gym, right? So and I got a hike later, so I'm not doing legs. But I was thinking, so we know the recovery window for muscles, I guess, is 24 to 72 hours, right? And since I pretty much hit upper yesterday and I can't do legs today, man, I gotta do upper again today. So I'm wondering, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what I didn't hit yesterday so I can like just work on that, I guess. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to see your take on that recovery period, I guess. Like, is there a right way to do it? Should you completely avoid it? Like in terms of training, programming, I guess sets, doing hypertrophy strength. Uh,
Mhm.
is there like I guess a correct way to approach it so that you can still benefit from it?
Yeah, awesome question. So most of the time, unless if you're like a newer lifter, a beginner lifter, I'd rather have you completely rested off just because I want to dedicate your full capacity to building the muscle recovering. You're obviously in a slightly different position because you are a more intermediate to advanced lifter. So I think you're right, 24 to 72 hours for muscle recovery generally, but I don't think there's a problem if you do want to have an extra day in the gym in doing some lighter recovery work. I think that can actually working the same muscle again, maybe different movement, but keeping it light. Don't go close to failure, just to get good pump. Honestly, if you go and just get a pump, I think that's absolutely fine. As long as you're not, going absolute balls out failure, as long as you're not going too much, I think that can stimulate it. As long as you go with the knowledge that you're not going to be lifting the full capacity, because obviously you lifted the day before. You could hit an extra muscle group that you didn't hit before, but it might. So instead of did biceps one day, you're not doing triceps till another day. You could hit some tricep work in there. But I think just go hit some recovery work, or maybe do some sort of bodyweight movements, do some pull-ups. I know you love pull-ups anyway. Push-ups, just a little circuit, something, just get some blood flowing. I think there's a lot of merit to doing some recovery work and being active. But yeah, I obviously avoid the leg work if you're going to legs the next day or coming up soon. So I think it would be just do some extra light sets. I think just bicep pump, just go tricep pump, anything, get your shoulders pumped up, just keep it quite light. Stay away from failure. I think that's just a good way to get moving and do something active without actually digging into recovery too deep, if you know what I mean. Makes sense to you? That's what I do anyway.
So yeah, I see what you mean. Army vet. I was gonna type this out, but I'll just rather say it out. So I've actually the way I've changed my days is since we technically do squats, bench, and deadlifts, right? So I think Paragon he wants to start with squat because that's the biggest, that's the most brutal, and you're generally more high energy early in the week, right? If you take your rest days, so it's better to knock that out early. But the way I broke it down actually is I would do day 4 and day 5. I kind of combine it because day 5 is what, just like I guess curls and abs. Except I don't do abs on if
So it's just
okay,
gold.
wait. Let me think back a step. Hold up. So I
That's
combine
gold,
those days, and what I do is I would do this on Monday, right? Assuming Sunday I rest, right? But I guess tomorrow I'm gonna go surf, but I kind of count that just as a cardio day. But anyway, I combine those days. I take out the abs since I'm doing squat the next day, so I'm not gonna fuck myself up like that. Uh, and I do this. So and yeah, if I keep going through it, then day 4 will then be Friday, right? Yesterday, and I will again kind of combine day 4, day 5, just add some curls and some abs at the end of the workout, right? It only takes like 10-15 minutes. Um, so yeah, and I heard what you said, go lighter, don't go to failure. So I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to burn myself out, especially if I went hard yesterday. I think I hit 250 on bench yesterday. I was just trying to like see where I'm at.
Nice, man.
Um,
Nice.
and that's not part of the program, by the way. I just kind of completely went
Then I can't
off
approve
road.
it. I can't approve it. And the answer is no, don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't do that at all though. I definitely followed Paragon's program. That's what you should tell him. But
That's the official line. That's the official line.
yeah, you didn't. You know what? Ayo, delete the past 5 minutes.
Delete the VOD.
And what's up?
Delete the VOD.
Wait, what did he say? Was he trash talking Paragon
Oh, he was in
again?
there,
Oh,
also.
oh, fuck Paragon!
But yeah,
I have to
so
report
I
this.
think-
No,
I think
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
do
mate,
that.
Nate,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. Now we got to get Paragon in here. They are trash
Anyway,
talking
wasn't allowed.
you again.
Well, there was trash talking. We were just saying
Lobster
just expectations.
and Chris specifically. How the fuck do you spell
I
specific?
was saying if he was here all the time, he wouldn't this discrepancy.
I think.
What's that mean?
Is Paragon here?
He's never here.
Is he here?
Oh, is he not here? Guys, you all heard it yourself. Lobster Man?
I just want to know what it was said. I just want to know what it was said. I was just there, just vibing away.
No, dude, I was
Yeah,
posting on
yeah,
IG. What the
doesn't matter
fuck you
full
do?
details. We're good.
I'll clip it. I will clip it. But yeah,
Nobody
sorry,
clip
mate.
it, dude.
Sorry for interrupting. Keep
I'm
asking.
getting gaslit.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah. So I've heard what you said. I think I'll do that. I'll do more abs maybe because I just did like races yesterday. So I'll probably just do more abs.
Yeah, nice. Maybe work on some breathing, some
I
planks,
guess
something
cardio.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that's it. Yeah, thank you. Fuck you, Khan.
Yeah, thanks for bro. Thanks for asking your question. I was about to be nice, but fuck that shit. Mimi, how you doing? Feel free to ask your question.
Hello,
How you doing?
guys. Oh. Wait, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, how you doing?
What the fuck? Can someone explain to me what's going on?
I don't know. Maybe can you hear us? We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mimi, ask your question.
Okay, stop rushing me. Okay. So I have this exercise on my gym plan that was replaced for push-ups because I cannot do the machine because it's the pec deck one. Because when I do it, it feels like it's gonna break my arm. Like it hurts like really, really bad. It feels like my arm's gonna snap. And so they replaced it for push-ups, but I also struggle with push-ups. So what should I replace that exercise for?
Okay, cool. Sorry to hear about the feeling like your arm snapping. So work with my thinking for it. So if the original plan was to have a pec deck, which is a chest isolation movement, so just using the pectoral muscles, they switched it out for a push-up, which is going to work the chest again, but it's also a compound movement. So it's going to work your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, and some stabilizing in the back. So what I would think is a similar isolation movement for chest. So maybe like a dumbbell fly would be my first thing, or maybe a cable crossover. So then that's going to be working primarily just chest. So do you have access to? I'm sure you have access to dumbbells for a dumbbell fly or a cable fly, something similar to that. That'd be my go-to for a chest or a pec deck replacement. Did it cause you any pain or discomfort?
Wait, repeat your question.
Do you have any pain doing a dumbbell fly or a cable crossover or cable fly?
I don't think I've done it before, so I can't really answer the question.
Okay, yeah, fine. So I think you should try doing to just a basic dumbbell fly. So lying flat on a bench, flying movement. So it's very similar to a pec deck. So it's working the same muscles just with free weights instead of a machine. And if you don't want to do that, you could try doing a cable crossover. That could be standing, doing a crossover like that. Again, same movement, just trying to isolate the chest. Or you can do that like sitting on a bench in front of the cables like that.
Okay, I have another question.
Yeah, for sure.
I have this other exercise, which is with like, are they called dumbbells? I think. Yeah. You go like up and down, like with your arms, like not fully extended, but no, like extend your arms to the sides, and then it goes up. Yeah, that. But I have an issue, which is like one of my arms. One of them is like okay, like it's not too extended and not too, but the other one is always like too extended or too like, I don't know how to explain. Because I'm doing
So are
it
you
in
doing
front.
this movement like this? Are you doing lateral raises?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
And so like when I do it, I'm doing it in front of the mirror, right? And when I first start, it looks good and I'm doing it right. But then when I do it like once, one of like my left arm, it starts like bending. And I don't know why it does
Elbow?
that.
The elbow?
Uh
What does it bend? I'm not trying to figure it out.
like the middle of the arm, like
Um,
wait, let me try and show you. Wait, give me 1 second. Let me just turn on the light.
yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can turn on my camera. Okay, so you see my arm. It's like when I do this, right?
Yeah.
It starts doing this slowly. Instead of staying in this position, when I do this, it goes like, it starts, like doing this.
So your arm starts bending in. You're saying it starts bending in when you're trying to do raises. So you enter that and it slowly raises it in. You have elbow bending. Is that what you're saying? Please
So like, but
now.
this arm, because when I do it with my right arm, it goes like fine.
Okay. I'm not really sure. It sounds like your elbow's bending. Maybe your arm isn't strong enough to support it out there. So in which case you can maybe start doing some isometrics. So get to the top position for the first time and just hold it for time for 30 seconds. And then once you can do it for 30 seconds, start doing the rep again. Maybe that. It sounds like your arms just aren't strong enough to support it fully extended.
Yep.
Outside of that, you could try my machine. I call it the Diva machine. But it's basically it's the lateral raise, a seated one. So you lock in, you got arm of that, and you raise like that. So just same movement, just your arms are already bent in the first place. So there's no worrying about keeping your arms out straight or anything. And the final one, I suppose, for that would be if you have access to cables like a cuff, you can get like people use ankle cuffs. You can put the cuff around your elbow and do raises like that. That would be probably the easiest, not easiest, but the most precise way to do lateral raises without having to worry about your arms extending or bending at all.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. If it's helpful. If it's not, come back and tell me next week and we'll have another solution.
Okay.
Yeah, these questions were starting to sound a lot like Special Olympics for a second. All jokes aside, thanks for the question, Mimi. Does my arm go like this? Does it go like this?
Bro,
no, just kidding. It's okay. I didn't say anything. I didn't say your name. I said thanks for asking the question. Really do appreciate you. Lobsterman, feel free to ask your question.
Yo, I'm back.
What's up, man?
So, Chris, I pinged you in somewhere in Southeast, but I was wondering if you had any experience. Because I asked Daco, but Daco he's not here, so I'm gonna diss him. He's fucking like very generic about it. So, like, I've asked him personally, how does he feel, and he responds with a scientific answer.
You know what we've got to do?
So
We've got to ping him. Stop talking. We've got to ping him. Doc, and he's toxic. So
just everybody in this fucking chat.
My alarm's going off. He's toxic. So if he DMs you with insults, just know. Right. So Doco, Lobsterman.
No, don't ping him. What?
Okay, I won't.
Don't ping him.
I'll show
what's
mercy.
the question, man?
I'm just wondering for you personally. Don't give me a scientific bullshit answer, but with you or clients or I guess gym bros or whatever, if you have any what's the word? Anecdotal or whatever. Anected. Yeah, I'm butchering this. Anyway, what's that? Anecdotal. Yeah, something like evidence. Yeah, there you go. You got it. So something like that about, I guess, mentally, like how do you go that low? I know when you get lower, you have to do like more cardio and stuff. It just gets harder from there. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just wondering, like with you, like your approach. Like right now, I'm not doing too bad. I don't think until I get to like 12, 13%, I'm gonna have much difficulties. But after that, especially since I only have 1 hour in the gym, right, in the morning, like how am I gonna? I have to like switch stuff up or down the line.
Okay. First up, you're looking really good and you're looking solid, looking strong as hell. So it's basically a lot of mind games for this. We get super low body fat. I think the numbers are something we can borrow about, but I think we do get caught up in the numbers. But getting ultra lean is a challenge. It's its own challenge, and it's also not really compatible with being as strong as possible. I know it's quite
Oh,
difficult
yeah.
because I know you've got a lot of.
Oh no, yeah, I get you. I mean, like I think in my PFP I was around 12, no more than 12, I would say. But so yeah, I'm just since I never been that low, right? I want to kind of see what to expect, and it's gonna take
Yeah.
a while. So I'll probably be back here, and when I get there, I'll
Yeah.
just we'll see. But
Yeah, sure. So I think the key thing is to try to build strength, still try and build muscle. I think the most important thing is not to have it inevitably that you're going to get small and weak, because I think we can get a lot leaner than we think without sacrificing it. So maintaining strength, trying to build strength, and then being happy with maintaining strength is important. Cardio is good. One of the good things to do is work on calorie density. Try and figure out lower calorie dense foods that will keep you filling, because being hungry is a huge thing part of it. Honestly, I think switching most carbs to boiled potatoes is one of the best ways to make it less painful, if you can eat a high volume of that without getting full of that having too many calories.
wait, you said
Um,
potatoes?
Yeah, boiled potatoes.
Okay.
I think they're one of the best ways or baked, whatever you want, but not add anything, add salt to it. It's really a really good way to get lots of calorie. Potatoes have what? Top of my head, 60 calories per 100 grams of potatoes. So you can have a kilo of potatoes for 600 calories. That's going to be very filling. It's going to be a really strong base. Add some protein to that, add some salad. You can get a really high volume, big plate of food before you eat a lot of food, get a lot of food in your stomach for very few calories. So figuring out things like that, ways to get lower calories while being full, is really important. I know you're really into cardio, so I think keeping basic cardio is good, but then another way to do it is to add low, call it NEAT, non-exercise, calories burnt. So basically just a bit more active a day, getting up, walking around a bit more, keeping your body moving is a really good way to put extra calorie burn metabolism slowly without having too much of an intense drain. There is time when at some point you need to add more cardio to it, but I think that's slow and the last option really. Already quite high anyway.
Mostly diet. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets to a point when your calories are so low, then you can have to increase your activity a bit. I'd rather see you moving around a bit more in the day than having an extra half an hour on the treadmill, just psychologically, and also ghrelin levels, hunger levels can be different if you're doing loads of cardio all the time. I do think you can do it. I think.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna ask like a different question, so go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was going to say, I think a lot of it's psychological. I think it's trying to keep the weight loss slow each week. I think people think weight loss can be, you don't, but I think people think you're going to lose 5 pounds a week and it's going to be sustainable, and realize realistically, if you've already been training for a long time, already lost a lot of fat, it's not going to be super fast. It may be a pound a week, it could be half a pound a week. And then it's going to be slight differences in hydration and things. So yeah, it's quite a journey, but I think you can do it. Keep in touch with me. I think you could definitely get to around 10%. I think you look absolutely ridiculous. I think you look great now, but I think you could look really ridiculous if you do want to dial that down. But yeah, sorry, next question.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, my next question kind of related on it, because since you're a power lifter, right? I guess you guys, and I'm going to say you guys because I'm not a power lifter. You kind of have to lift the most weights, right, while being the lightest, right? Because it's not really. I'm not gonna say it's not impressive, but it's not if you're really heavy, But I'm not gonna diss any more people. Anyway, yeah, since you're a powerlifter, right? I'm wondering, like, I'm sure in your experience you've had times where you focus on strength and then you focus on weights, and I guess you kind of shifts between the two. So how do you balance it, or not necessarily the program itself, but how do you kind of figure out what weight you want to be at or how much muscle you have? I'm guessing at some point body fat percentage, it's also, you maybe you don't care about the number itself, but I guess you care about your body weight, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've powerlifted in the past. I wouldn't consider that a powerlifter now, but I've got a good understanding. But probably Paragon's got a good idea, and there's other powerlifting coaches. Coach Big B, I think, is powerlifting as well. But yeah, powerlifting is a weight class sport, so you have to be in a certain weight class, and the idea is to lift the most weight in that weight class to win. So at some point, body fat percentage does become a factor because obviously, if you both have 80 kilos of muscle, if someone's got 10% body fat, someone's got 20% body fat, more muscle lifter is going to lift more weight. More muscle means more strength at the end of the day. A bigger muscle is stronger muscle once it's trained to do powerlifting. So yeah, so there's a balancing act. I think more powerlifters should spend more time trying to build muscle, especially if you're an experienced lifter. You're not going to build much more muscle if you're 5-10 years into lifting. I think you should spend a lot of time trying to build muscle as much as possible because more muscle will end up bigger muscle is stronger muscle. So in that case, whilst yes, powerlifting is trying to lift the most for one repetition in the squat, bench, and deadlift, and therefore the total, I think if you break it down to have a competition, maybe 2 competitions a year, I think probably the most you should really do if you're trying to really be competitive, and then go backwards from there. So you'll have probably a 6 to 10 week peaking program for the competition. Outside of that, I do think you should be doing quite a lot of hypertrophy training. I think you should be working other qualities, building as much muscle as possible, and then refining or focusing that strength, laser focusing that strength in on those performance in the squat, bench, deadlift. So that's the way I approach it. I think most powerlifters have most success with.
Okay, well, thank you. And one more thing, Captain Alabama, I know you have a question. I'm sorry, this is gonna be quick. I just want to see, like, I don't know, what are you doing up? Like, I know you were, I guess, maintaining or just working out for fun, right? Since you're kind of done with powerlifting, right? So, do you have any goals or like what are you working for? I guess in the next few months.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. So my goal for this year is to I still deadlift, I still do front squats, I've been bench press at the moment. I've retired from bench press officially. My goal is to get
Really?
my
Why?
deadlift up to
Why?
bench press isn't very fun for me. My goals are to get to 5 control muscle ups this year. I want to get to my deadlift goal is to deadlift 220 kilos for 10. I'm currently on 210 kilos for 10, so 10 kilos to go. And generally work on my flexibility and cardio because I'm 15, 16 years into training right now. I've not got a lot of extra muscle to build, but I'm squeeze every drop that I can. And I think being in super great shape and trying to get some higher rep goals are my current performance goals rather than low reps. So I think a lot of powerlifters would benefit from that as well. I think people don't necessarily realize it's easier to add a rep or extra weight to your 10 rep max and then focus down rather than add an extra kilo or 2 kilos to 1 rep max. Building a really big, so I'm trying to build a really strong cardiovascular base and strength base, everything, like a really huge base. Because we know for performance, the wider the base of a pyramid, the higher the peak can be. That's my current goals for now. I appreciate the
Are you
question.
considering like CrossFit or I guess just calisthenics in general? It seems
Um,
like you're going down that
I'm-
route.
Yeah, I'm not really into CrossFit and things. I want to dip my toe into calisthenics stuff. But my excuse, my handicap is having huge muscular legs, and it's calisthenics much harder. I know AO doesn't have this problem, so it's really easy for him. But I do think it's good to have a good base and just build generally more of a generalist rather than a specialist. I think it's more interesting for me. And it also means I can help more people with more experience for calisthenics and stuff.
I mean, you could also try Olympic lifting, right? I know you're old, your knees are kind of cracked, and your joints are getting kind of rusty, but Olympic lifting is still a possibility, right?
What
mean,
the
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I'm a powerlifting. I've messed around with Olympic lifting a little bit in the past. Like I've power cleaned 100 kilos, so I'm not like it's. I think I could get into. I think my front squat's generally pretty strong. I've front squatted 160, so I should, based on that, if I was good at
Yeah.
weightlifting, I would be decently strong at it. But yeah, it's worth thinking about for sure. But my gym is really accustomed to that right now. My gym is too busy and crazy. Yeah, there's definitely worth thinking about. Now I've ruined my goals now. I've got stuff to think about, so I'll consider that as well. Appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Well, that was it, Captain Alabama, sneaky.
Bro,
Apple,
shut
Maple,
the
whatever fuck you-
Bruh,
you-
stop
you-
yapping. Nobody cares. Get off the freaking panel. Dude doesn't stop talking. I regret asking him to ask a question. Jesus Christ. He dissed Paragon. He dissed Doc O. He called Chris old. The guy who is literally helping him out. He called, no, one second. Don't come in, I'm streaming.
Chris, you're not old, okay?
Have we got?
Close the
God.
door, please.
I'm 31, so
I'm
I'm
streaming.
one of the older ones in the server, I think.
Aren't you like 25?
I'm 31.
Oh my gosh.
Right, back to what I was saying. He called Chris old. He dissed Doc O. What did he say about Paragon? He
He's
said
a kind,
Paragon's
considerate
what?
chap.
Dude.
He said he went off program. That's all.
Where's he left? Anyway, yeah, right. Who's the next person to? I think it's Captain Alabama. Let's get this guy in. Oh gosh, sorry about that, and thanks for
Hello?
waiting, mate. Just yeah, we've got this toxic individual taking up space, asking questions, then dissing the person answering his question. Oh,
I
how
get that line.
exhausting.
Help you.
Right, it's finally gone.
If I'm lagging too much, guys, you can just like put me back down. I'm okay listening.
I can hear you, man.
But I have a lot of questions. I recently wanted to lose weight, like to cut weight at least, because I was tired of my physique. I'm too big. I'm not that big, but I'm too big for my size. And I had like a recurrent knee injury that I wanted gone. So I wanted to be lighter, feel lighter. I started with a stupid approach. I immediately cut down my entire diet to 650 calories a day, which was insane. Until I did more research and I realized that maybe I should add more calories. And then today I looked up on the internet and I realized I need like 200 grams of protein a day, and I have no idea how to achieve that because I eat like a fillet of scallops, like turkey scallops, and boiled eggs. I tried peanut butter. I tried hummus. I couldn't reach 200 grams. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm here to ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So protein is something that's important. I do think it's a bit overstated how much we need though. The idea, honestly, what you probably have is your body weight. The minimum what you need, I would say, is roughly your body weight kilos times 1.5. So 200 grams sounds like a lot of protein. Honestly, it is a lot of protein. I don't know how much you currently weigh, but if you aim for your body weight in kilos times 1.5, that should be enough. That means if you're 75 kilos, aim for around 110 grams of protein, which hopefully is more manageable and easier to do. That makes sense. So don't worry about having to have 200 grams of protein. Your body is able to take additional carbs and things to turn into protein as well. So don't worry about that. You don't need to have 200, 300 grams of protein a day. So hopefully it makes it easier, more manageable. So easy sources of protein would be any lean protein. So chicken breast, obviously. Lean fish is a good option. Don't be afraid of lean pork, beef, things like that. Eggs, like you said. A lot of dairy is high protein as well. So if you have a low fat Greek yogurt, easy to get protein in for that. Things like quark as well, really good, easy source of protein. Also, don't neglect, there's also protein in other things you eat all the time. So, for example, vegetables will have a small amount of protein as well that all adds up towards it as well. So you don't need to have just from protein sources if you have, also adds up from that. Outside of that, don't be afraid to supplement with a scoop of protein, something like that if you want to, but again, it's not essential. I'm glad you realized that having 600 calories is way too low. I think people do that, don't realize. So it's a good thing you're looking into it and researching it and finding more information. If you want to give me your rough, height and weight, we can give you a rough calorie surplus if that's helpful. Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So
I'm 97 kilos right now. I'm 6'2". I would say I'm not. I'm a bit on the muscular, but like kind of like sleeper build. I'm not too fat. There's no stomach, no nothing. But I hate the fact that I feel slow. And my goal right now, as I said, I want to play football as much as I can, enjoy it. So I want to lose the weight that I have extra, but I don't want to lose the muscle because I also enjoy feeling, strong, feeling big,
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of a
Give me to the last part of that.
Damn, the suspense. You're kind of what, mate? What happened? Oh,
just a loss of words. I'm kind of like stuck between two worlds. Do I want to lose weight as fast as possible because I'm a person that picks up interest and puts it down very quickly. So if I don't see progress, I know I'll get demotivated. But if I try to lose as much weight as like keeping it at 600 calories, I will lose muscle mass. That's what I found on the internet.
Sure. And can I ask roughly how tall are you?
186 centimeter.
186 centimeters.
6'2" in American.
6'2". Oh.
6 foot.
Okay, so you're a tall guy. Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting you said you lose interest in this quickly because that's good to know. people need to realize how their mindset affects how they diet as well. People don't realize. So it sounds like you're more interested in having faster results, which some people are good at that. Some people want to have a slower, more steady results, and some people want to have a fast results quickly. Honestly, so behind the curtain a bit here as a coach, often I have people start on a slightly more aggressive calorie surplus than with the whole thing, because people are often motivated by a faster initial weight loss and then gets them keep going and builds momentum for there. That's kind of the part we don't really talk about necessarily. That's kind of the secret source of it to an extent for coaching. So you can have a reasonable calorie surplus. I would find a calorie calculator. There's decent ones available online. I'm sure we have one available here as a command area somewhere for calculating calories. If you want fast results, I probably wouldn't recommend doing more than a 750 calorie surplus, really, just for performance, just for how you feel. That will give you a quick initial weight loss, and that should give you enough to motivate you and keep you interested in your fat loss goals. Does it sound sensible to you? So if yes, it's the TDE calculator here in the chat if you see it. If you put in your information here and then take away 750 calories, that's a very good, reasonable starting point for fast weight loss, and then you can adjust after that.
I do have a few questions, mate. How long have you been on your weight loss journey? Is it something recent, or did you already set it? Sorry, I zoned out for a bit.
I'd say 6 days. I lost 2 kilos.
Yeah,
I think it's glycogen though. I don't know. It's like water weight.
Yeah,
and
you
less
should.
lack of stomach contents, I imagine, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You
Yeah,
should
I think
probably
if
not
you
be
see-
as drastic, isn't it, Chris? 2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what I recommend for a few days. So do you see the calculation in chat, Captain Alabama?
Yeah, I see it. So
Yeah, so you pop your details into that, and then I think you should probably start at a 7. So take the number that it gives you at the end, take away 750, and have that as your daily calorie goals. That should give you probably about 1.5 pounds of weight loss a week, or towards 0.75 of a kilo weight loss a week. I think that's enough to have a quick, visible effect on your physique, get the weight down relatively quickly, but keep you high energy and motivated as well. Does that sound good to you?
yeah, that sounds good. One question before I leave. About carbs. I'm really afraid of carbs. I try to stop carbs for like first 5 days, but recently I've been eating like full wheat biscuits or biscottes. I don't know how to say them in English. And every time I eat one, I feel guilty. Are carbs, are carbs bad?
No. Good question, but no, carbs are not bad. Carbs are good for you, especially if you're having whole wheat fiber things. Fiber is very important, so very important to have. So no, carbs are not bad. Carbs will give you energy, carbs will give you nutrition, give you fiber. So no, don't feel bad about eating carbohydrates. The main thing, so if you look at your calorie diet, you look at your calories as the most important thing, then hit your protein, and then fiber, and then everything else. So don't worry about eating carbohydrates, don't worry about eating some fats. It's good for you. You need to have a certain amount of essential fats in your diet. You need fiber in your diet. So no, carbs are not bad. You should always be eating carbs. Always should always be part of your diet. So don't feel bad about it at all.
So as long as I like meet my calorie intake requirements, it's okay to eat as much carbs as I want.
So I'd say the biggest thing is your calories. That will control your weight. Okay. So if you eat calories, it's absolutely fine. Next, aim for the protein goal. Once you get those two, you can basically do whatever. If you want to be extra good, extra points, hit your fiber goal underneath that, and then everything else other. Absolutely fine.
Appreciate
said-
you guys. Appreciate
Awesome.
it. I'll drop physique updates when I look better. Okay.
So keep us posted.
care.
Really good to talk to you, man. Thanks for
Take care.
questions.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Yeah, thanks for the question, mate. And I also just want to make sure that you don't try and rush the process. I do see this a lot where people try to lose weight in a short period of time. There are drastic ways that you can lose weight. Anyone who's ever done like wrestling or had to make weights for any sport, there are drastic ways you won't sustain it. Like it's impossible to sustain it. 6 months from now, you gain it all back because you've not literally conditioned your body to be able to stay there. You need to follow a nice progressive path that leaves you having a good health, because that's the most important thing. You don't want to be having like drastic weight loss and damaging your internal organs in the process. And yeah, carbs are important, especially for slow releasing energy. I know a lot of people who want to lose weight, funny enough, they always tend to do a lot of cardio and then they cut carbs out. So it's like you're doing cardio, you're not taking carbs, you're getting your energy from what, and then you're, overeating. Yeah, exactly, overeating and then you just put yourself in this consistent cycle. But yeah, guys, just make sure health is wealth. Remember, we are Effective Fitness. If you do want more clarification, I'll probably say, speak to Chris, ask more questions, just so you can understand, especially because I think you guys are getting into a very like nuanced side of like the weight loss stuff, where I know a lot of people have had this debate about like energy in versus energy out, where a lot of people are like, so if I'm eating my caloric intake, does that mean I can then eat anything? And then it's like, then there's oils, there's all these other stuff. So make sure you fully understand that. Yeah, fully understand that, because then people are like, oh no, my total intake to lose weight says this, and I'm just gonna down a bunch of like kebab and pizzas and trans fat filled food, and it's like, okay,
there are broad strokes and there are more refined things, and
Yeah.
there's a difference between aiming for broad fat loss opposed to optimizing your health. These are different questions and have different answers and different conversations, and they happen at different times in your fitness journey as well.
Perfect. Sneaky or Sneak Maple, thank you very much, mate, for waiting. Really do appreciate you. Yeah, once again, mate, would have got to you earlier, but there was some kid called Lobster Man just yapping off like he's back. Feel free to ask your question.
Can you hear me?
We hear you. How you doing?
All right. So I've tried working out in the morning a few times, and I've noticed I'm significantly weaker, and also my lower back always hurts when I do like my leg press workouts. Is that normal to be weaker and for my lower back to always hurt when I do?
Okay, so yeah, it can be absolutely. I will say your back hurts when you do leg press. Is that only in the morning, or can you leg press fine later in the day? Because it could.
Yeah, that's only in the afternoon. It's fine.
Okay, so yeah, and it's totally normal. Sometimes your body needs a bit of time to wake up, and it's just not ready to push weight or sustain in that system that way. So it's good to be aware of this. Some people try to push through the pain and think this is just, pain of the old classic of pain is weakness leaving the body, when realistically pain is pain and it's not good. So sometimes your body is just not ready to push hard things like leg press, especially early in the morning. If you still really need to work out in the morning, I would say take a bit of a more extended warm up, maybe get up a little bit earlier if you can. Underrated also is having a hot shower before that. It just gets people say hot showers are bad, but just to get your body ready and loosen up your back is a really good idea. Do some side planks and bracing, do a decent dynamic warm up beforehand. But oftentimes an early morning workout just doesn't work for your system, and if it doesn't work for your system, you're probably best to just either take the exercise out and replace it with something more back friendly, or change your workout schedule if possible. So yeah, it's totally normal. It's not a strange thing to experience at all.
What about drinking coffee? Drinking coffee help?
Okay, man.
Would drinking coffee help though? If you heard me.
Sorry, I can't really hear you there.
Would drinking coffee help?
Drinking coffee always helps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of caffeine in your system will definitely get you more awake and ready to go and alert, but do make sure if you are more hyped up from that, you're not also then taking more risks and being too enthusiastic. So yeah, coffee will always help. Mine's right here next to me before I go to the gym. Yeah, it's always good to have a little bit of caffeine before the gym does help me. I find it helpful.
Also, when you're injured, is it normal to like be more tired throughout the next day? Because your body like I was significantly more tired the next day. I got injured.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can make a difference. You can make you feel more tired, and also you can feel more tired because you are being less active. You're being more lethargic. Often your body needs to move a bit to make more energy. So if you're injured, you're being more careful and being more still. You probably will feel more tired as well. Yeah, it's totally normal.
All right.
And like Coach Boy said, yes, it's a protective system. Is your body not wanting to have energy? It's trying to give you a chance to rest, saying something's wrong, you need to fix it. Thanks, Coach Boy, for that shout out. Appreciate that.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate your questions. Hope that's helpful.
Yeah, thank you. See you.
Perfect. Do you have any more questions, mate? Is that it?
That's it.
Perfect. I don't know what's going on with that profile picture that you've got there, but We'll let it slide.
AI
AI
from-
generate. It's
Oh, it's AI
generated
general.
image of a
Oh,
horse.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Are there any text questions, guys? This is an opportunity for us to quickly speed run through the text question. And at the end of the podcast, I will be doing the giveaway announcement. So, guys, there's opportunity for you to win cool stuff in the community. Remember, this is a community that loves giving back. Don't feel shy if you've won like the past 5 giveaways or whatever. Just opt into it. Basically, it's communism done right. We get some people, they want to promote, they want to support the community. You guys win something. The cycle goes round. Mr. Beast isn't cancelled anymore, so I can probably just say it's a Mr. Beast methodology. And if he gets cancelled again, it is the AO methodology. And if I get cancelled again, it's the Chris methodology. And when he gets cancelled, because we know that's going to happen because of how often he disses people from like famous influencers. Oh yeah, Mr. Clean asked the question. Mr. Clean, do you want to ask it on the voice chat? Makes for a good podcast.
He doesn't. But Lobster looks like a good. Yeah, sounds good to me. Cardio, calisthenics, arms. Yeah, get rest pump. Do some abs. Perfect. Mr. Clean, what's the question? If not, just tag me in it. And I can't find it. Was it a while ago now? He says as though he can't just DM me anyway.
Stop
Sean,
inviting me up.
Well, just ask your question, bro. Chris has
yeah,
got
no,
things
that
to
is my
do. Time is running out.
my goal,
Ask
yeah.
your question.
Basically, you're right. That is my goal, my ultimate fitness goal. How do I turn gym gains into dating gains? More plates, more dates, as Derek would always tell you. Use the gym to
Right, Chris.
build
Anyway,
confidence.
moving on. Let's get ready for the giveaway, bro. Literally
Great for
wasted
giveaway.
5 minutes of my life to ask that. Guys, does anyone want me to wait for a bit for them to opt into the giveaway? And also, if you have any text questions, if you're shy, feel free to ask. Ask your text questions. I'm gonna set up for the giveaway. Don't be. This time, there's 5 minutes. As I'm setting up, feel free to. What's that wheel thing called? Wheel of names. No worries. It's a gaming server for anyone who's interested, for any gamers. I think. We do have an anime one next. Oh, crap. I literally forgot. Shout out to all the supporters of the community. Oh, crap. Guys, huge shout out to Boost Camp. I've seen a lot of people ask about workout routines and all these other stuff. You can get them all completely for free on Boost Camp. Huge shout out to there's so many people to shout out. Holy crap. Someone ask a question. Chris, talk about something interesting while I figure myself out.
Talk about something interesting. Wow. What can we talk about? With some of these questions. We had a question actually about calisthenics, so I'll get to that quickly. How do you unlock advanced calisthenics skills? Is it just mastering the basics? So yeah, a lot of it is mastering the basics. There's a lot of practice. Calisthenics is bodyweight movements to unlock certain skills, which is it's a lot of it is practice. It's doing the basics, it's doing consistency, it's building up over time. But alongside that, I think you should also be doing some deliberate strength building movements as well. So not just doing the poses and holds and things. Outside that, it's always merit to getting stronger at press-ups, handstand press-ups. It's always good to do some bodyweight squats and working advanced things for that. All sorts of weird dragon squats you can do. Cossack squats, all sorts of things. Yes, a lot of it is going to be practicing the skills and being consistent over time, but also getting stronger and building up your ability to brace, all sorts of things like that. Having a stronger core is always going to help. But yeah, a lot of it is mastering the basics and then having a logical progression, working up from easier to more difficult movements, adding time, adding difficulty over time. You can do it. Yeah. Good question, G. Hope that answers it. Chris, help with pull-up. Okay, so pull-ups are obviously a very popular movement. Everyone wants to do pull-ups, and one of the things I like to do for clients is get them their first pull-up. The best way I've found for getting your first pull-up, if you're not very good at it, or building up your reps, is to do a negative pull-up. So it's do negative chin-ups, to be honest. So a pull-up is an overhand grip, a chin-up is an underhand grip. So negatives are, you start from top of the movement. So use a block or a step or something, start at the very top of the movement, and I want you to slowly lower yourself down. That's under control if you can. If you're not very strong to start with, or you haven't done it before, you're probably going to drop down very quickly. But the goal is to have a strong, slow negative to lower yourself down the movement. We're not focusing on pulling yourself up yet. We're going to work the muscles and get used to the movement by doing the negative. So start at the top, go all the way down slowly, then get on the step again, and do it again if you can. If you work up to 5 negatives, so nice slow, maybe 3 seconds on the descent, if you can do 5 negatives in a row, you're probably strong enough to do a positive lifting chin-up. After that, it's good to practice singles for pull-ups. Don't go too close to failure. Do sets of 1, take a rest in between. Just because you've done 1 rep doesn't mean you should go straight away again. I think you should try to get recovery in between the sets. 1 rep is still a set. And once you can do maybe 5 singles, you can maybe do doubles after that. It's just a process of being patient with it. Everyone can do pull-ups. Women can do pull-ups. It's definitely something you can do. And yeah, G, exactly precisely what I said. You know what to do. Does that help, Candy at all? And that Danny DeVito picture is taking me out every time. I'm sorry. I presume you like It's Always Sunny, which is a fantastic show. Take negative slow, yeah. So yeah, if you work up to doing 5 negatives, you should be able to do a positive lift up, a pull-up. You've never seen the show. You've got the picture from. That's from Always Sunny, isn't it? The Danny DeVito picture. All right, we'll watch him.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. Guys, are there any more text questions?
Like Danny DeVito. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let me screen
Okay,
share
man. So you
from-
can do pull-ups already. In which case, I would probably recommend doing singles for you. So take a rest in between. And
Yeah.
practice singles.
Sorry about that. I was looking at something else. Not Candy Ass
bet you
doing pull-ups. All jokes aside, does anybody still need time to enter the giveaway? Here's your chance. And guys, please do not join and then leave immediately after. I think someone did that. We do track these things. So, cool. You joined the server. Captain, did you post a screenshot? I'll stall for a bit. It's in hashtag giveaway. The most.
So yeah, Candy Axel is good. I think you should probably just do some singles and practice on getting the form really tight. That will give you a lot of benefit, I think. Your worst, you can do a few here. I think if you really dial in the form and do low fatigue sets, just to really practice the form, say sets of 1 or 2 maybe, and once they become really easy, for pull-ups, it's best to wait until sets are really easy before adding reps. That way you can just keep the full range of motion. So easier singles. So just doing 1. Just doing 1 repetition as a single. Do it really dialed in, form really good, rest in between. Once you can do 5 consistently like that, I think you should add, yeah, exactly, keep it easy. Easy strength. A lot of it's practice greasing the groove. I think you can get up to doing a set of 5 really quickly that way. Just easier than you think you should. I'm fasting, okay, LPB Truther. I'm fasting to help cut. Would fasted cardio make sense? How should I time my protein? Should I lift while fasted? Okay, so fasting can work for weight loss, but end of the day, it's just a way to limit your calories. So it's not really going to make you get benefit any weight loss faster than having your calories broken up during the day. Would fasted cardio make sense? I mean, it's not going to make you lose weight faster. There's people who talk about it, but that's kind of debunked at this point. It's not going to make you lose fat any faster than regular cardio will. Should I lift while fasted? I mean, you can. I did it for a long time on an intermittent fasting, lean gains kind of thing, which would be lifting at the end of your workout, at the end of your fasting, break your fast after you've trained. Yeah. So you can do that, but I don't think it's a benefit. Time your protein. If you're fasting, you're not really worried about that anyway. Yeah. All good, man. Also try explosive banded pull-ups, building that, but those will help too. I went from 2 to 6. That's a way to do it, yeah. It's a bit more fiddly around, but it is a way to do it, yeah. So banded will give you extra support through it.
Cool. Right. Giveaway. Oh, someone else has just posted evidence. Mr. Clean.
Oh, Mr. Clean. Late.
And also, guys, all these server owners are really nice people. Servers safe for work. Reach out to them if you want to, if you like the communities or whatever. Be authentic. If you don't have to join it. I don't want to force it on people. And don't grift, because I would check it. Don't want people upset with me again. Yeah. There are some few things that I need to shout out, but I've completely forgotten. But I would shout out Chris. Guys, remember to support Chris SDR first on all platforms. Remember, it is in Strike Force. It is in Strike First. Cobra Kai, Strike First, Strike Hard. It is Strength First. Make sure to support Chris on all platforms as he does support us. Huge shout out. 35k followers on our Instagram. Let's go. So that is effective.fitness on Instagram. The grind to 40k begins. 22k on Reddit. And yeah, huge shout out to all the sponsors, tiered members, loyal supporters, staff members, everyone. I think about the end of this year, we will be probably average around 50k on all platforms, including Discord. So yeah. Let's go. Number 1. Right, let's do this. No one else has joined. Cutoff point has started. Let's go. Who do I want to win? I do like the name Ace. Oh, no way. Bro just literally joined the server as well. Congratulations, Captain Alabama. Yeah. Dude, you must be lucky. It's probably is this the 4-leaf clover that's next to your name? Congratulations, dude. And we will take one more questions from Erwan and call it a day. Thank you all for joining.
Hello.
Hi there, man. How can I help you?
I just got a quick question because I'm thinking about I have leg day today and I'm about to go hit leg day, but I accidentally overdosed. I did some stupid shit, like I took too much pre-workout, and I'm just wondering if I go and do my leg day now, will my heart rate like increase a lot? So like combined with the caffeine, that my heart rate gets to like an unhealthy level. It's a genuine question because I'm kind of worried.
Okay. Honestly, it'll depend how much you've taken. If you're feeling a bit rattly, I would just wait some time and just put it off a bit. I think most things in your workout is going to be the main active in the pre-workout is going to be caffeine. There may be some taurine in there, but if you're feeling too jittery, I don't think it's a real issue for your heart unless you've severely gone over it. But if you're feeling unsure about it, go back a couple hours, do a slow walk into it, and go by feel. If you feel like you're uncomfortable with it, do it the next day. It's not a big deal. If you're worried about your heart in that way and it's going to affect your performance as well, I'd just let it the next day.
Okay, thank you, man.
Welcome, man. Hope you feel better with it.
Oh wow, I wasn't muted. Perfect, dude. Thank you very much for your question. Really do love your profile picture. Yeah, and have a good workout. Guys, no more questions. Really do appreciate everyone for staying to the very end. Huge shout out to Breed, Mr. Clean, all of you guys who stayed. I have to say everyone's name, right? Arawan, Captain Alabama, Subject Zero, Candy Asked, Ewan, Samara, One Star, LBT, Ruther. Bruh. Anyway,
Yeah,
see you guys. Have a great day. Unless Chris, do you have anything else you want to say?
I say everyone, yeah, it's good next day for your leg day. not a problem at all. Probably safer to just give it next day. All good. Have plenty of water. You'll be fine.
Perfect. That concludes the podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. Catch the VOD, twitch.tv/King, and have a great day. Have a weekend. Bye. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, guys.
Get out of here. Freaking losers. Imagine staying on a Discord podcast. How pathetic. On a weekend
Saturday
as well.
evening. Good grief.
First
Imagine
of the
hosting it.
month. Who said that? Yo, wait. Who just said? Who was that person who just called me a Discord moderator? I swear to God, when I find you,